Hey good people, welcome back to Beauty and the Frizz. My name is Kara, and whether you're new or returning, thank you so much for stopping by and hanging out with me for another one today from my car. We'll talk about it in a minute. Anyway, a lot of content creators have been doing videos about beauty products they are not buying in 2025, and I wanted to go ahead and join in. Therefore, if you want to hear about all the makeup I don't plan on buying this year, keep watching this video. Let me know what you think, and if makeup is your therapy and your love, if it makes you happy and you want to hang out with those who feel the same way, definitely consider joining the community because I'd love to have you back. All right, let's get started. So how are you? Cold. I filmed this video yesterday and my mic officially got thrown in the trash because it had a short in it, and this is the second time I've had to re-record. I have no time to do it today, so work just ended and I'm waiting for August to arrive. So I was like, I'm gonna just record this video in my car since I'm not doing any makeup, and hopefully y'all will still love it the same. Y'all can see my little coat. I turned the car off, so it's not gonna be a whole bunch of extra noise, and I'm using the camera mic because I had another mic, but now the clip isn't on the mic, so I'm having all sorts of issues with sound. Let me know how you're doing in the comment section or the chat. It has been a beautiful, beautiful day, and cold, but beautiful. So let me know how you're doing, and let's go ahead and get this show on the road. As I was watching other content creators do their videos, I decided to take some notes in my phone, and I am very excited for this year of makeup because I really do plan on saving some money this year. So let's go ahead and get started with the first item that I am not purchasing in 2025, and that, my friends, is going to be concealer. First of all, I don't even buy concealer to review or just to try out. And I have done a couple of concealer reviews because I'm like, oh, that'll be something quick. That'll be something easy. But the reality is I have no business reviewing anybody's concealer. I have 3 concealers that I really enjoy in my collection. Those are the Dior Forever Skin Correct Concealer, the old formula as well as the new formula, the Natasha Denona High Gen or High Glam Concealer. That's really my number one. And then I also love the Huda Beauty Full Filter Concealer. In addition to that, I own the Fenty Concealer. So I have 4 concealers, 3 of them that I consistently use. I might have a backup of the Natasha Denona. I can't remember, or I might be on the backup. And I do have a Dior Forever Skin Correct Concealer that I have not opened yet. So therefore, I have no need to purchase any concealers in 2025. The only difference between the concealers, maybe slight differences in the undertone. I know formulas are different, but all of the concealers are good. And that's what I've learned about pretty much all of the makeup that I have. All of the makeup is good. So I'm not purchasing anything expecting it to be bad. I mean, who wants to do that? I'm not a review channel, and even if I was, the complexion would not be what I'm reviewing because I don't know enough about it. I have no reason to purchase any concealers out of curiosity this year in 2025. I really don't plan on adding anything in. And if I do, it's going to just be restoring or repurchasing one of the ones that I already love. No to concealer. Don't do it. If you have multiple concealers, I wouldn't really advise adding any more. At least wait until you're finished up a product. And I think that's the only way I can really tell if something is a holy grail. Once I finish it and I decide, wow, like I really like this. But I started to accumulate concealers more than I would like, and I was just like, what are you doing? What are you doing? Let's move on to number 2. The next product that I do not plan on purchasing in 2025 is foundation. First of all, I really had to sit down with myself and admit that I barely use foundation. I may do a couple of dots. That's it. I don't even like heavy foundation. I don't like to feel makeup on my face. So my foundation lasts a long time. Currently, I'm using several. I have the Prada foundation, which I bought a backup of that was kind of dumb. I have a second shade in the Prada foundation. I have the Hourglass ambient foundation, which I really love, but a little bit goes a long way. I also have a couple of foundation sticks. I have Westman Atelier, I have Dior. I feel like I'm probably forgetting something, and that right there in itself is the problem. A lot of days I only wear concealer, no foundation at all. So there's no need to add any more foundations to my collection. I have the Huda Beauty Blur Foundation. I have a skin tint from Supergoop, and I do have a couple of those Dior Star filters, which can be used on its own. I will not be adding any foundation. I was very tempted by the new Hourglass foundation because that had some sunscreen in it. No, I have sunscreen and I will use the ambient that I have. So this year in 2025, you will probably not see me purchasing any foundations. I think the only way I would do that is if I ran out of something that was a holy grail. But I'm not seeing it for myself at this point. The third item that I am not purchasing in 2025 has to go to bronzer. I did a bronzer collection / declutter video, and there is only so much bronzing one can do. Once again, I realize that I am not heavy-handed when it comes to my makeup use. It has taken me 4 years to even slightly pan, no, it's a decent pan, to pan my Gucci bronzer, which was like my #1 used bronzer. That was shade 3 neutral. But I have so many other bronzers. I have every formulation, stick, cream, liquid. There is no need for me to add any bronzers in my collection. I even have 2 of the Chanel oversized ones. As I said, there's only but so much bronzing that a girl can do. So bronzers are not going to be on my list of purchases for 2025. I know Rare Beauty just came out with a liquid one. I will not be trying that. No, it is just not happening for me. I am going to continue to use the bronzers that I have and get to know the ones in my collection because there are so many. I have enough to last me for 2025 and beyond. The fourth item that I'm not going to be purchasing in 2025 has to go to highlighters. Any type of highlighters, liquid, powder, stick. It is not happening. I'm not purchasing it. Normally, I wouldn't have considered highlighters a problem area, but when I actually went through my collection and saw how many I had, I thought it was absolutely ridiculous. And the reason why is because I don't use highlighters on a daily basis at all. I have a whole bunch of the Kaleidos highlighters, the space age ones. They're beautiful, but I haven't even been going for any type of galactic type highlighters. The ones that I tend to like are the ones that are more natural looking, like the Natasha Denona I Need a Nude one. I do love my Chanel Glow Essential highlighter bombs. I love that. I have a lavender one that I think is beautiful. And then I bought the Gucci highlighter. I think those were like $50 a piece, something ridiculous. I have enough highlighters to last me for the rest of my life. So I do not plan on purchasing any more highlighters. There may be a chance that a highlighter would be in a face palette or bronzer or something like that, but I'm not just buying any type of single highlighters, bronzers at all, period. Probably indefinitely. I can't even say just for 2025. Another item that I will not be purchasing any more of, and this is going to be indefinitely, are eyeshadow singles. At this point, I only use my eyeshadow singles when I film my build your own palette videos. Other than that, I'm just not a singles girl. As much as I love my singles, as beautiful as they are, as much as I love swatching them, I think I spend more time swatching them than using them. I do love the excellent quality, but I am more likely to use palettes. I do enjoy the palettes that I create, but to be honest, I never really go back and use them again after the video. So let's call a spade, realize what you're using. Singles are not it. So I did not buy any singles in 2024, and I will continue to not purchase singles in 2025. That's just going to be an indefinite product that I'm no longer purchasing, and that's an end of an era for me. I do, again, love the singles in my collection, my Stained Glass, my Terra Moons, all of those indie goodness brands, but it is the end of times for me and eyeshadow singles. The next item I'm not purchasing is any type of powder for setting. It could be loose, it could be pressed. I'm not purchasing it. I have my Hourglass powders that I love. I have my Hourglass face palettes. I have Makeup by Mario. I have Huda Beauty. I have a Charlotte Tilbury pressed. I have an Hourglass pressed. There's just too much. And again, I am not heavy on powder. I don't repowder during the day. So all of this makeup that I'm looking at, I have bought most of this makeup for a fantasy version of myself that just does not exist. I have to stop buying makeup for my fantasy self. I am not going through the powders as quickly as I thought. I don't even know if I thought I would go through them quickly. I was just buying something to be buying it. So powders are indefinitely on a no buy. It is not happening at this time. I was even tempted by that Huda Beauty birthday cake, Ube birthday cake. We are not doing it. We are not. The next product has to go to lip gloss. I'm not really a lip gloss girl. I find that a lot of the lip glosses are sticky. And my favorite lip glosses, I have two favorites, the Pat McGrath lip glosses and the Maybelline Lifter lip glosses. And honestly, with Pat McGrath alone, I have enough lip gloss. Purchasing lip glosses during her $12 lip gloss sale a year or two ago, and yes, they are still good. I have some of her mini trios, and then last year I did purchase 3 of the Maybelline Lifter glosses, which I think are very similar to the Pat McGrath lip gloss. So no, I don't even like lip gloss like that, and it always makes me afraid that I'm going to get that white line that I don't want to get. So no to lip gloss. It cannot happen for me. Setting spray. I am not in need of setting spray right now. I would not mind purchasing a setting spray if I need one, but currently I am finishing up my second bottle of the Cali Ray setting spray. I have one from Milani that I haven't touched. I have one from Pacifica that I like that is unopened. I have the e.l.f. Power Grip dewy setting spray. So right now there's no need for me to purchase any type of setting spray. I'm sure I have an Urban Decay overnight setting spray or whatever it's called. I'm sure I have one of those around. Setting spray is not something that I need to add to my collection. I often do use setting spray throughout putting my makeup on. So if I'm using a sponge, I usually wet the sponge and then spray it with setting spray. So I am using it, but I don't need to have 4 or 5 different setting sprays. I also do have the one from One Size, the matte one that's like in a hairspray container. So no to the setting spray. It is not happening in 2025. The last thing that I am not going to be purchasing are backups, and I have learned my lesson the hard way with backups. Oftentimes when I get a backup of something, I'm thinking it's going to be a holy grail, but 9 times out of 10, there will be a new product that will take the place of that holy grail. And so then the backup just sits. Let's take the Dior Forever Skin Correct, for example. I bought a backup of that, and Natasha Denona came out with her concealer, and I really liked it. So that backup is still sitting there. Do I really like the Dior one? Yes. But for a while, it took a back seat because I had gotten the next best thing. I had gotten something new. So now I have a backup of that, and I might have a backup of the daggone Natasha Denona as well. Backups are not something that I need. Usually there's something else that I end up wanting, and then the backup is just sitting there. I don't buy backups of eyeshadow palettes. I know some people have done that, but I find that it happens with complexion things, and it usually happens when there's a sale. Like, oh, I might as well get another one of these because I know I'm going to run out. But no, it's really not serving me anymore to buy backups. There's not that much limited edition stuff, especially when it comes to complexion. A lot of those things are permanent, so we don't need it, y'all. Do not buy backups. Oftentimes they will end up sitting. So those are the items that I am not planning on purchasing in 2025. I do want to address eyeshadow palettes and blush. I did do a blush collection. I want to say declutter, but it really wasn't a declutter. At this time, I'm not allowed to add any more blushes to my collection. The only way I can do that is if I get rid of a blush. My blushes are not allowed to expand because, let's be real, I have every single color of blush that exists, and I have every formula that matters. So at this point, me buying a blush is just me buying something to be buying it, or buying something because I want it. I was looking at the new Natasha Denona blush highlighter duos, and I was talking to Jamie about it, and I was like, those look really, really nice, but I can't think of a blush in my collection that I want to get rid of. So the answer is no. And then I thought about the powder highlighter, and I was like, do I really need another powder highlighter? I do get that it's in the duo, but Was this a great move for Natasha? I don't know. I'm very sure that the blushes look great and that it's something that I would possibly consider buying for the spring VIB sale, or if there's a sale, but I don't need it. I have all those colors, and I just have to be honest that I really like the blushes in my collection. I don't want to throw anything away. So I'm not allowing myself to purchase that or any more blushes unless I'm going to be getting rid of something. Eyeshadow palettes. The reality is there are going to be some eyeshadow palettes that I purchase or are gifted to me. And right now I'm not on a one in, one out with eyeshadow palettes because I have not done my eyeshadow palette declutter, which I really want to do soon. But goodness, I am not dreading, but it takes a lot of energy and time and thought. And sometimes it can be stressful to do a declutter, but I am going to do it with eyeshadow palettes because those are the products that are taking up the most space. And honestly, they're being used the least. I will say that for the month of January, I have used a ton of makeup that I haven't used in a while. And I believe that that's because I haven't had a lot of palettes come in where I have felt that pressure or guilt about filming with something new. The only palette I haven't done is, and which is going to be the first palette of the year that I purchased, is the Nomad palette, the new one. And I want to do the video. I just haven't been able to bring myself to do it yet because lately when I sit down and do my makeup, I just want to use what I want to use. So I'm keeping pretty much like a little makeup diary of everything that I'm using so that my roundups will be a lot more informative. And I'm taking some pictures of the looks that I've done because I'm not necessarily filming them. But this whole process has really allowed me to fall or begin to fall in love with my collection and want to use it more. And just like, I'll look at a random palette now and I'm like, let me use this. Today, I use, and this is a very simple look, Pat McGrath Platinum Bronze. That was my very first Pat McGrath eyeshadow palette. And I was so happy to pull it out today. Just a little chill look. It doesn't have to be anything spectacular over the top. For blush, which you can't see, it's the Melt Digital Dust Duo Blush in Raw Honey. I'm wearing a lip clay from Kaleidos. Like, just pulling things out that I haven't used in a long time and remembering why I love them has been very rewarding for me. So friends, let me know if there are any makeup products that you do not plan on purchasing in 2025. Do you have rules for allowing yourself to purchase makeup? I've not set my budget yet, but I am going to have to set a budget. I was doing that at the beginning of last year and the year before, and I was actually sharing with you all how much I spent, how much I brought in as far as YouTube and things like that. But I really fell off with that, and then things just started to go by the wayside. And then I started the fragrance channel. So I think it is time for me to reel it back in and hone in, because there are some things that I want to pay off and I want to be financially free. I don't want to be constrained by the choices that I've made. And makeup hasn't put me in debt, but I can see how any hobby can put someone in debt. So I know that I need more discipline the way I was a couple of years ago. And that's what I plan on doing. And with that, also becoming picky. One of the things that I keep asking myself is this going to add some type of value to my collection? I'm using the Natasha Denona blushes as an example because that's the last thing that I saw yesterday that I was like, ooh, I kind of want one. Is it adding any value? I would have to say no, because I really love my cream blushes from Melt and I go for those so much, and I don't need the powder highlighter. The only reason I would purchase it is just to purchase it because I was curious or to buy something new. But I'm not even that curious because I know the blush is going to be good. So that is how I'm feeling about makeup and my love for it. I realize that I still really, really do love makeup, but I don't like feeling pressured to use certain makeup because I have so much. I don't like feeling the guilt and the anxiety and the overwhelm from having a very large collection. But when I have pulled my makeup out to do it, I have enjoyed it so much. I've used more products this month probably than any other roundup that I've done, especially when it comes to eyeshadow palettes and the eyeshadow palettes that I've chosen to use. I've really gone back and used some oldie but goodies, so I can't wait to share that video at the beginning of February. So yeah, let me know your rules. Let me know your stipulations about purchasing anything, and I'm going going to get on out of here. Thank you so much for taking out some of your time and hanging out with me for another one today. I hope this was therapy for you. You know what always is for me. And until I see you again, make sure you are being gentle with yourself. Talk to yourself nice. Stay safe. And you know I will see y'all in the next one. Bye. Go on, block your